forward. Another episode of the SAC Digital Media Day. We're here with head coach Tyler Haines from Catawba, ready to talk some Catawba football. Coach, thanks for taking some time today.
Hey, welcome to the SAC, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's jump right into it. First year in the books, an eventful first year for you at Catawba, off a successful run at Shepherd. Talk to me about your first year and some pluses and negatives maybe that you took away from it.
Yeah. First off, my family is extremely excited to be a part of the Salisbury community. Catawba College is a special place with obviously a long tradition and history of football of being successful and competing at the highest level. So year one was trying to get back not only to our current roster, but alumni support, administration that Catawba football is back. And although we haven't arrived, we took a step in the right direction, and we look forward to year two.
Yeah, I mean, big step in the right direction. 4-win improvement. Man, you just get caught in a tough division, really. But what were some of the things on the field that you saw a lot of freshmen and sophomores out there running around making plays for you?
The first thing I noticed coming into this conference is I knew it was good. I didn't think it was going to be this good. And every single week you have a playoff caliber team that you're facing. So before I notice anything about us, I know that this conference is real. A lot of respect for these coaches, these teams, these programs, all of which want to win. And as the season went on, as you said, we were a very young team, as most transition times are. And we were proud of our guys. They played hard. They bought into our system. 5 and 6 is not the goal, but a lot of reps and a good solid foundation is what I'd say.
Well, that foundation, now you got picked to finish 7th in the preseason coaches poll. Moving up the ladder, obviously 7th isn't the goal, but what does that say to you for this Catawba squad?
I don't know how much it says. If I was a conference opponent, that's about where I'd put us. We're going to be better than we were last year. We have more talent. We have a lot of guys. We really only had 2 or 3 seniors starting for us on the field last year, and retained everybody. Got some new pieces. Retained our staff, which I think is huge, especially at the Division II level, where you get some of that consistency that you see. An example like Mars Hill or some of these other programs that have had coaches stay for a long, long time, that consistency helps. So being picked 7th doesn't mean a whole lot to us. It means we're trending in the right direction. But as you said, nobody's happy with 7.
So obviously you got an offensive background. You came as the offensive coordinator from Shepherd. You were blessed to have Tyson Bajan as your quarterback. Talk to me a little bit about Preston Brown, freshman, 19 touchdowns, 5 picks in his first year. What did you see from him?
Yeah, excited for Preston, and it was a great opportunity to coach Tyson. I learned as much from him as he probably learned from me, and him getting a start tomorrow for the Hall of Fame game. Excited to see him go. But the thing I'd say about Preston is, he's an older guy, being a transfer from University of Charlotte, UNC Charlotte, and but hasn't really played a lot. Redshirted there, was a practice squad player, came here, got injured right away. So last year was his true actual freshman year on the field. And you saw as the season went on, you knew the talent was there. I could see that immediately. But as he continued to pick up the offense and play at a faster level and spread the ball around, just be more consistent, he was one of the better quarterbacks in the conference, in my opinion, and really only in his freshman year. So sky's the limit for him, and we look forward to a big step out of number 7 this fall.
Yeah, and it helps to have a guy like Bo Pryor. If you're a first-year quarterback, 73 grabs, 885 yards, and 7 touchdowns. One of the best wide receivers in the league. What did he do to help Preston?
He's very explosive. He does special things. Some of those were shots down the field. Quite a few of them were bubble screens and little quick passes where we just get the ball in his hands and he does something special with it. As good as his numbers were, my opinion is they should have been better. Not only from Bo with how much talent he has, but us as a staff designing things for him and Preston getting him the ball. One thing we really wanted to emphasize in the offseason is getting some other weapons outside of Bo, so you wouldn't get doubled and tripled and some of these crazy things that we saw. So I think you're going to see Bo's numbers continue to go up. The one other thing I'd say about Bo is he's the leader of the team, him and Preston, but Bo is the vocal leader. He's the Energizer Bunny. He's all Catawba. He's all football. And he's just a special, special player.
You got LJ Turner returning, your leading rusher returning, but talk a little bit about the running position. I know, there's a stable of guys.
Yeah, like you said, a stable of guys. Marquise Williams was actually all conference in our division back. We have 3 guys that had all our carries last year, and they're all back. And actually, we started the season with Leroy Bracey, who was leading the nation in rushing the first 2 weeks of the season and had an unfortunate injury. So what I'd say about all those guys is they all have their specific talents, the things that they're best at, whether it's out of the backfield or downhill, outside run, catching the ball, whatever it is. We have a stable running backs, and we signed some good ones. So big year for LJ and that entire room. Of it can't just be the Preston and Bo show. It's got to be about the guys up front and those backs as well.
Let's shift a little bit to the defensive side of the ball. Jakari Martin is your leading tackler coming back. Dino Wardlow made a bunch of plays, tackles, interceptions. It looks like just from the stats page, you just didn't get enough pressure on the quarterback, just 11 sacks. But what are you looking for a defensive unit that was really, really young?
Exactly what you said is those guys that did play to continue and to improve, and they have in the spring, and we expect the same going into the fall. On the defensive side of the ball, and Coach Overman and his staff have done a great job on that side of the ball, especially this offseason with recruiting. What we feel were some gaps that we're 1 year into it. You don't really know what you have until you get out there and face some of these really good teams. And we went out and find some new guys, and we pushed the guys that we currently have to perform at a higher level in the weight room, in the meeting room, on the field. Because if not, you're going to get beat out because it was unacceptable. And we're excited. Nobody should be able to line up and run the ball on us like they did last year. We just look forward to everybody continuing to develop and some of those young guys stepping in and taking the spot of some of these older guys.
Yeah, and you were able to get through a spring season on top of your actual playing season. What did that spring look like? How were the workouts? How were the practices, the game, all that stuff?
Spring went really well. I was excited that the NCAA passed the rule. We were one of the few teams, I believe, in the spring that did have a spring game. It was more of a scrimmage practice, but we did go against Winston-Salem State, somebody in a different color jersey. Our guys like that, alumni like that, recruits like that, coaches liked that. So that was kind of the cap to our spring. We stayed healthy. We improved. We have this fall camp's going to be even more important, but like spring, and we took 4 mid-year guys that we knew we needed to immediately address. And it felt like we were a better team this spring than we were the fall, just with the addition of those 4 guys.
Yeah, I would say this is a question for you now, sitting in this seat with a year under your belt. What do you feel personally different this year going into than you did maybe last year?
These guys understand the expectation now. I think as a first-year coach, you're always going to they're going to shake their head and say, yes, they get it. Yes, they're working hard. Yes, they're doing it right. And then they go out there and they are trying. But I think there's something to be said for a team of 98% of our guys coming back. They know the expectations. They know the practice schedule. They know how we lift. They know how we meet. It's just becoming a well-oiled machine, where last year it was smooth at times and we were struggling at times. So I think just more confidence with the staff, with the training staff, with the strength staff, and ultimately the players. And the last thing I'd say about that too is we've developed leadership. You take a 1-in-10 team, number one, how many leaders do you have? And number 2, are those leaders good leaders? We have a solid core of 10 to 12 guys in our leadership committee that are all in for Catawba and expect to be a lot better in 7th.
Man, the coaching carousel is a crazy thing. Now you're like a grizzled vet in this league. We got 6 or 7 new coaches in the league. What does that do for Catawba to have a little bit of stability?
Well, first off, shout out to Coach Newsom out at Emory and Henry. I know he just made the announcement that he's stepping away due to some health concerns, and had a chance to text him yesterday and just wish him and his family well. I've never seen anything like this within a conference. I've been to multiple different conferences. My brother, Brian Haines, my younger brother's defensive coordinator at Indiana. And he was at James Madison. So I've always been aware that the college game does this. I think everyone is. But to have, to your point, 6, 7, 8 head coaching changes is unique. It's fun times. We're going to go out there and it's going to be getting to know each other again all over, because, the scheming kind of throw out the window, and so much with the portal, guys jumping in and out. So there's a lot of question marks with every single team in the SAC. The one thing I know is every single one of them's good.
So you start September 7th, Davidson. You got 3 straight at home to start the year. Hopefully set the tone for your year. What are you looking for in the first 3-game homestand to kick this thing off?
We're actually on the road the first 3.
Oh, so man, I looked at your schedule backwards.
I wish we had it like you said. I want the 3 home games. So, some of the fans, some of the alumni, they're like, what are you doing scheduling 3 road games? I'm like, listen, this is year 2. I did not set this schedule. So we're happy with it. We're going to Davidson, which is picked to win their conference. They're a very good program, obviously. Do some different things on offense. And they're a really good football team. They're opening up a brand new $60-something million facility under the lights. So we look forward to going in there. That's going to be a war. And they played Barton last year, so we saw them play Barton, which was a very, very good game. So yeah, at Davidson, at Shaw, and then at Virginia Wise, which Coach Bass is new head coach in the conference. So 3-game road trip or road warriors there for the first couple, and then week 4 get to come home. But first things first is a good solid camp leading into Davidson.
Yeah, well then tell me about that home Carson Newman game then.
Yeah, again, new coach. I believe it's no secret they're probably going back to the triple, the good old days, and I think it's a good hire. I think every single coach that's been hired in this conference is elite, and nothing is going to be easy in this conference. We get that. We did beat Carson Newman last year. Nobody's looking back to last year, but that was our last conference game last year. But it's going to be a completely new team. We're going to be a completely new team, and we get them at home, so we'll see them week 4.
Yeah, now when you kind of look back on this year and maybe when it's all wrapped up, what would you define as a successful second year for you in Catawba's 2024 year?
Continue going in the right direction. Again, the expectation here at Catawba, and I think this is not coach talk. I think everybody expects to win the conference. Everybody expects to compete nationally. Salisbury and Catawba live it. We have a great staff. We have a great administration. It's a football crazy. It's a great location for recruiting. We have all the pieces we need to compete at a high level in this conference. So to continue to do that, to be a lot better than 7th is successful. 7th is unacceptable. And to go up there and compete with the top end of this conference week in and week out, and can just continue to develop our program and be at the top here soon.
Well, there you go. Coach Tyler Haines, thank you so much for taking some time today. Wish you and Catawba the best of luck this season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.